Hey folks, Jimmy here, aka Palette of the Dead. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the latest issue of Warhammer 40k Imperium magazine. Now, as per usual with all these videos, if you like them, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and of course drop a comment down below. Love hearing back from you guys, and it goes an absolute massive way to help the channel too. Now, this week we're on issue 33 of Imperium magazine, and it is a paint issue. So, with it being a paint issue, we have two paints. We have Reichland Flesh Shade, pretty handy, especially for them fleshy colours to go and give them a bit of depth. Also makes golds look a little bit differently, so if you've painted anything with just Retributor armour, a layer of Reichland Flesh Shade over the top gives it a bit of depth. Very, very handy if you're painting up things like Stormcast Tunnels, in all honesty, or anything that is just mostly gold. Can be very, very well done with that colour. And we also get Cryptek Armour Shade Gloss. Now, I've never used this shade before, and I'm intrigued to see what it will do. I will probably use it on a test piece because most of my army is of Necrons and stuff like that are pretty much painted, so I don't think I need it at the moment. But I'm going to see what it will do, see what it will change colour of on certain different shades and different metallics, and might utilise it from there, but it will give it a glossy finish, so it will be pretty good in the long run. Into the issue itself, we are of course greeted by some good old background pages. So, the orders from the Forge world. Missions and motivations. So, this whole article is designed to provide overarching goals for your Adeptus Mechanicus force to attempt to carry out as long as they are a battle against Necron foes. These missions may include a wide range of tasks, from gathering lost technology or destroying certain foes to gathering Xenos materials. So, the Holy Order. So choose the Holy Order to which the commander of your Adeptus Mechanicus force belongs. This will determine the missions and motivations of your Adeptus Mechanicus army. Game rules for Holy Orders will be introduced in a future issue. So, and then you can choose your, if you're going for Magos, Logos, Genitor or Artisan. And then your mission goal as well. So when you have chosen a Holy Order for your Adeptus Mechanicus commander, you can roll on the relevant table, which is on the next page, to determine an overarching mission for your Adeptus Mechanicus army. When you have chosen a mission goal, record it in the box below. And then on the other page, of course, you've got the roles section. So you have the generator. So you can, for instance, if you are choosing your, depending on which kind of Holy Order you're going for, whether you're going through Magi. So these are those who become Magi are committed to recovering ancient knowledge, and they will gladly risk their own lives. And those are their augmented foot soldiers in order to recover ancient lore and return it to the Forge world. And their missions are Archaeotech recovery, destroy Xenotech, and keep the fires burning. The Genitors, so those who belong to the ranks of the Genitors seek to become experts in biology. Their research often focuses on genetic manipulation, chemical enhancement, and other methods of bolstering mind and body. And their missions are examine the stilled, xenology, and Skitari evaluation. There are the Logi, or Logi, or Logi, whatever you want to call them. Logi seek to amass knowledge. They analyse data from thousands of sources at once, poring over reams of statistical reports and aspects readings, in order to rationalise every minuscule move the enemy makes. And their missions are seek and destroy, data harvest, and identify flaws. And then there are the Artisans. The Artisans are craftsmen without compare. Each and every artifact of war they create is a masterpiece, both beautiful and deadly. They seek out the finest materials from which to forge their wondrous devices. And their missions can involve enhanced weapons, resource harvesting, and resanctifying the factorums. So, with that, you can expand your game, and you can alter your game depending on your Adeptus Mechanicus. If you're going to be using them quite heavily, then this is going to be very, very handy to have. Then we get information and background about the Necron Tomb World ambitions. So, by now you probably will have already decided on your Necron Tomb World and your Necron dynasty. So the Necron nobility have awoken from the great sleep, determined to restore their empire to its former glory. Many cling to the same codes of honour and methods, making war that they utilised when they were beings of flesh and blood. So, you can give them their ancient ambitions here. So long ago, the Necrons were a race of flesh and blood with their own ambitions, desires, and codes of honour. Despite biotransference and the passage of time, many Necron nobles and Therons still cling desperately to these vestiges of mortality. Pick an ancient ambition for your own Necron royal court, and then you get to choose between conquest, personal glory, or extermination. And then you also have your awaken strategy, so the Necrons have awoken to find the galaxy much changed. The lesser races have seized power and infest the galaxy like vermin. Your awakened Necrons seek to recover what is rightfully theirs. Dependent on their individual goal, however, the methods by which they plan to achieve their ultimate objective may differ greatly. Record an awakening strategy for your Necron army. So, essentially the same type of thing that we've just had with this one. So you can choose your essentially mission goal on here. So if you are going through the grand strategy of conquest, so some Necron commanders seek only to restore the former glory of the Necron race. These commanders content themselves with conquering new worlds, though their methods of doing so may vary greatly. We're not going to speak. And then you get to choose between relentless masses, endless reanimation, precise translocation, canoptech tides, immortal phalanxes, and eldritch technology. If you're going for personal glory, some Necron commanders are arrogant, self-centered, more concerned with enhancing their own reputation than furthering the goals of a silent king. They tend to be reckless, finding release in the thrill of battle. So, and the personal glories for them are single combat, reckless arrogance, refuse to yield, crush their works to dust, take them alive and plunder riches. Or there is, of course, extermination, which is just as good as it sounds, really. So, other Necron commanders are consumed by bitter jealousy and want nothing more than to wreak a terrible vengeance upon every living being. These nobles risk falling victim to the Destroyer curse. They have the options of course, Unleash the Destroyers, Annihilation Protocols, Viral Fury, Scorched Earth, Trophy Takers, and Curse of the Flayed Ones as well. So really, really cool stuff. And also adds to your Necron armies as well, giving them a kind of an overarching goal behind of what they actually want to do. And that's their purpose, really, which is really, really cool. Then we get some more information about the Necrons themselves. So we get information about the Catan. So, the Catan were once gods amongst the stars, possessed of powers like which no mortal race could hope to wield. Now they exist only as fragmented shards imprisoned within the eldritch machinery of the Necrons, forced to serve the very same race whose souls they once obliterated. So, if you've been keeping up with some of the lore, the Catans were this ancient kind of godlike race that were fighting the old ones, and the Necrontyr kind of exchanged their souls in kind of exchange for immortality with the Catan, and they're part of an alliance, and the Catan were kind of basically a bit more of a backstabby kind of everything, so they kind of tried to backstab the good old Necrontyr, and when the old ones were defeated, the Necrontyr turned their backs on the Catan, and the Catan were kind of subjugated and brought into kind of the kind of Tesseract vaults and kind of reined in, essentially, by the Necrontyr as well. And they do utilise them as well. So you can have Tesseract vaults. For instance, these gigantic war engines contain imprisoned Transcendent Catan shards. Each Transcendent Catan is made up of dozens or even hundreds of lesser shards, and is bound within its prison by energy shackles, and its godlike powers weaponized for use against the Necron's foes. Of course, because they have godlike powers, they're very, very, very powerful and very, very handy. And then you also have other bits as well. So you have the Catan shards themselves. So you have Catan shards of the Deceiver, Catan Shards of a Nightbringer, and Catan Shards of a Void Dragon. All really, really cool models. They look nuts, bit stupendous, and very fantasy-like for those two, and pretty damn cool for the good old Void Dragon as well. Really, really good stuff though. But really, really useful information as well. If you want to expand on your Necrons, these could be the way to go. Very, very handy units to have, and quite powerful as well at the same time. Now we get more information about one of the other factions, which is the Orcs. So the Orcs are the most warlike Xenos species in the galaxy. Unfortunately for other races, they are amongst the most numerous and widespread, hostile and completely anarchic. The Orcs possess a lethal threat to all they encounter, mainly because they just use brute force and sheer numbers. So what the Orcs will do is they will plough through. So the Orcs are pretty cool, and they are of course based on fantasy Orcs really. They do have their own kind of hunters. They have good old grots, or goblins, or Gretchins as they're actually known in here. They have psychers, they have their big war leaders, they have their technology which utilises a lot of kind of slapped together machinery, including things like killer cans and stuff like that, which are pretty damn cool and quite fun to use. And they also have some pretty cool kind of monsters as well in the shape of squigs, which are always quite fun to look at and to see. And then we get a how to paint section, so how to utilise our two new paints, which are the shades of course. So with the Necrons, it's going to tell you how to use Nuln Oil over everything if you wish to. Very, very simple stuff, in all honesty. You can't go too wrong with it. Using your good old Cryptic Shade, Armour Shade Gloss though, you can utilise those over certain areas and it'll give it a very glossy kind of finish, and much more over everything. So it's entirely up to you how you want to go about doing it, but you can get some really, really cool looking units out of the entire lot utilising these shades if you wish to. As I said, Reikland Flesh Shade over gold gives it a very nice look, and kind of goes into all them recesses a bit better than, and makes it look a little bit warmer than Nuln Oil does. Nuln Oil kind of like dilutes everything, makes it look very flat and gives it not much life. Using Reikland Flesh Shade over gold gives it a lot of warmth as well, so really, really good stuff. But yeah, quite fun as well. Then we have data sheets for our Technomancer and Flayed ones. Very, very handy to have for your Necrons, but really, really cool stuff. And we get some more tutorials of how to utilise their abilities. Then we get some reinforcement rules as well from our cool rules section of the magazine. And then, of course, we get our battle plan for this issue, which is Besieged. So you'll be using the Technomancer, 3 Scarab Swarms, 5 Flayed ones, 5 Immortals, and the Canaptic Spider, which is quite a lot of units. And you'll be going up against 1 Tech Priest Dominus, 10 Skitarii Rangers, and 5 Assault Intercessors. So a tough kind of a bunch of rules and stuff like that, and quite a tough battle, but really, really cool stuff as well. I must admit, quite impressive and quite really good fun. You do also get a pull-out section for this magazine as well, for this issue, which is the Horrors of Chaos, which is, of course, going to detail a lot of the kind of legions for Black Crusades, for Traitor Legions, Warp Storms, Abaddon the Despoiler, and we also get some information about Khorne, Tzeentch, and their demons, including things like the Pink Horrors and the Bloodletters there. And then for the other side we get Nurgle and Slaanesh. So this includes Slaanesh, of course, including the Demonettes, and Nurgle including those pesky Nurglings and Plague Bearers that you can utilise as well, which are always quite fun to look at and have a bit of a muck around with, really. But yeah, really good stuff. Pretty cool issue. It's got a lot of lore in there and a lot of background stuff, so really good stuff to kind of keep you going and to keep you ploughing on with your games. And then next week, issue 34, we're going to get the Ruin Factorum building, which is the other half of the section that we've already had, and is pretty cool. And then issue 35, we get our Tech Priest Engine Seer as well. Also a really cool model from the Adeptus Mechanicus range. There's only essentially a few more Adeptus Mechanicus Mechanicus models that we are going to get over the next few issues. So, yeah, pretty good stuff. Up to the issue 40, we will get the other 2 destroyers. We'll get our engines here. And then on to good old Adeptus Sororitas, which will be really, really good fun. And I'm looking forward to it. Right, that's it from me. Thank you very, very much for watching. And I shall see you sometime soon. Bye-bye now.